All right, hello, friends. Thank you for coming to the Sound Collective or for coming to the internet, wherever you are. My name is Nick. I'm here with my friend Jared from Roland Cloud, and he's going to be showing us some really cool shit that he can do with the Roland Cloud software. I cannot wait. I'm about to go listen to all the cool things that I can do and learn some tips and tricks. So please welcome Jared, and I'll have him take it away.
All right. Check 1, 2. What's up, everybody? In real life and online. Do I need to do something with the HDMI vibe? So yeah, I'm from Roland Cloud. What I want to talk about is these plugins, Roland Cloud plugins, but also a little bit of history and some tips and tricks and things like that. Okay, cool, there we go. All right, so I got a lot of friends in the audience, so if you have a question, go ahead and shout it out. Make sure it's appropriate. You know who I'm talking to. All right, so I want to talk a little history here, and I think probably the best place to start for anything Roland would be the 808, right? Like, this is my like Superman thing here, 808. So, little history. This bad boy came out in 1980. It was only sold for like 3 years, 10,000 of them or so sold. It was not considered a commercial success, but I think it's definitely a cultural success, right? The 808's been ripped off, duplicated, taken to all kinds of extremes, but really I wanted to show what this one can do since this one comes from Roland, and it is emulated super accurate. So they opened the thing up, they took the schematics, they analyzed the electrical circuit flow, and they turned that into software. So only Roland can claim to have done that, in case you hear other people talking about that, other companies. But anyway, it's not immediately obvious how to make this thing bang. So I'm going to make a little beat. It's not going to be the best beat. I just hope it's a beat that inspires everyone watching this to be able to make their own. But let's talk sonics. And I know I said I'm going to start with the 808, but I'm actually going to jump over here to the 909. 808, 909, very similar. The 909 was the one that followed the 808. It's half analog, half digital. The cymbals are digital. The kick drum is not. Let's just hear the kick drum, though. All right, we're going to have to make this loud. As loud as I can. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's get a little groove going. We might need a tempo here. I'm going to bump this up. We might get a little housey here. Let's just see. Okay. So we have a kick going here. What I'm doing is I'm using the sequencer. I'm not going to get too in the sequencer. I just want to talk sound design here. So let's look at what we're doing. We have some controls for the bass drum. We can tune it. We can mess with the level. But what was done to this to make it more usable is we added a gain circuit. So this is one of the first things I want to show here. If I press the panel button, this guy's the panel button over there, watch what happens. Okay, it changes the face of the instrument and we get some gain. This is the first thing we need to understand is how we're going to gain stage this. Let's crank it a little bit. Okay, so you can see you start to get some oomph out of it that way. I'm just going to, let's just do this. Ooh, yeah. So I'm tuning it to the room now. I'm trying to get the most impact out of it. Now, if that's too loud, it might be too loud for us later. We'll see. We can change the level. So now it's like a guitar amp, right? We're doing the gain and the master volume, and we're getting the right kind of sound out of it. All of the sounds on this have that ability. So let's make a little groove out of this, right? How about we take the kick from the 909 and we'll mix it in with maybe the hi-hats from the 808. So let me clear this. All right, we got to get them going at the same time. So I press the space bar, and now we have both sequencers going. Yeah. I have a feeling I better do something like this. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's get a groove going here. Okay. That kick and those hi-hats are not happening at the same impact, so let's get those hi-hats to sort of match the feel there, right? Same thing. I'm gonna hit this panel button. I'm gonna get to my gain, and let's. Okay, I'm gonna go too far. Maybe that's not too far, but clearly we're jacking the gain now. Take it down a bit. All right, so now we're doing a lot to the sound without using any plugins. We're just staying at the fundamental sound of the instrument. That's where I want to stay. I'm not going to add plugins on this example, I don't think. All right. I want to get a little feel out of it here, so I want to use some shuffle. Shuffle is what Roland calls swing. I'm sure you've heard swing before, right? We're going to shrink the distance between the offbeats and the downbeats. And I'm also going to use weak beats because I want to get just a little bit of a feel going here. Okay. So that's too much. I need to back off. Okay. So I'm going subtle, but I've made a lot of changes that have improved from the beginning sound to now. We've got gain happening on the kick, the hi-hat, we've got a little shuffle going, and we've got velocity. Now, I know this is like the most boring beat ever, but the point here is the sound design more than the programming, so.
And what you're saying is like when you first turned it on, that was the sound, so that's what people were doing, right? Pushing on
Yes. Thank you for that. So I should save this now so I can show what he's talking about, which is when you first turn this on, you're not going to have these things tweaked. And, you know, as someone who's trying to want you to adopt this plugin, I want you to know that you need to kind of tweak this thing to get it to the feel that the originals had. So yeah, I'll save this kit. I'll save it, just call it Jared right now, and I'll write that. Let's hear this same pattern. This is the kick now. So let's just listen to that kick. Get rid of that hi-hat for a second. Where are you? So this is the kick without doing anything with it. And then here is what I did. So, like he mentioned, the original sound is not tweaked. And in my opinion, you need to kind of get it to match the room. And by the way, I was doing this in my home studio, totally different sound. So whatever room you're in, you know, it makes a difference. Let's get a clap going on this. 'Cause that's another, here we go. Okay. Clap, the same thing. This clap is already kind of beefed up. But we can, yeah! I hope that hurt. So we can go too far as I did, and now I'm gonna back off with the level. There we go. But just listening to that, I think that's a compelling, like, the sounds are compelling. They have motion on their own. All right. Let's actually throw in some hi-hats from here. We'll get what some of us call a house beat. I don't know what others of us are calling that, but I call it a house beat. All right, same thing with that open hi-hat. It's not hitting, it's not cutting, so we're gonna do the same thing. Right? Okay. You want to hear one of these? Okay, if I'm doing that, I got to do this too. So the reason I didn't want to do that is because that sounds kind of stale. So we got to unstale it. So I'm going to get into, I'll just throw some shuffle on that. That will kind of help us. Actually, Shuffle is Roland's terminology for swing. Yeah. Yeah. You know, every company has their own way of saying stuff. So actually, as we're talking about shuffle,
Yeah, with the shuffle, is it like you pull it back or push it forward?
exactly, both. So these sliders do exactly what you're saying. Let's actually go back to that 808 hi-hat, get that going. The function's the same on both, so we can look at both. But yeah, you know, if you shuffle is not going to affect the downbeats, it's only going to affect the upbeats, moving them either left towards the downbeat or right towards the other downbeat. And fortunately we can, and I've got a little bit on here, we can adjust the shuffle individually. Let's do too much. So you look at this as like the master shuffle, and then these as the individual shuffles, right? So here's too much. Can you hear how it's overlapping? It's too much. We can start backing it off. Right? I felt it the same way you did, right? Let's go the other way just to be, let's be wrong for a second. Now, if anyone's taught me this, it's you, not to rush. Yeah. I'll go back to plus 37 where we're all comfortable, right? All right, plus 34. Okay, so we're feeling that, right? We got some swing going, shuffle. I want to introduce a bass line now, just so we can kind of get a full groove going. Now, like I said, this isn't the best beat ever. This is like the most generic beat ever, which probably means it's a hit, but I'll let you guys figure that out. Let's move back into 808 world. And 808, it's like Kleenex, right? 808 means a low subtone that goes by your house and makes your windows shake. That's what an 808 is. Or it's in your car, or it depends on who or what you are, but to us, 808 means a low tone. Now, the original 808 machine, you could not pitch that. You couldn't play it like across the keyboard. And you still can't on this. But I want to show that you can get a low feel out of it, and then I'm going to use another Roland synth to get what we all call an 808. Because, you know, to be honest, a lot of the 808 in production could be a mix